Hello and welcome to Endeavour Solutions Business Central information mini-series on how BC is architected for cloud security. Marvin, can you showcase how Business Central protects your network from external threats?
So for cloud security, we know that there's a couple things that have, I'll say, drastically changed over the last, well, for me, over the last 20 some years that I've been working in this industry. Back then when I started working in it in early 2000s, we'll say, actually, it might have been slightly before that, but we'll just say early 2000s, just to put a line in the sand. Security was, that concept of just keep people out of the building because you didn't want people stealing your stuff. It wasn't so much about information, or if it was, antivirus, threats and stuff like that. Things that were, less global in nature because the threats would become more global in nature. And you always want to make sure that you didn't want to expose your network to any of these external threats. So, that mixed mode office environment that people were used to working in. So Business Central is designed with that security in mind, okay? So security starts in Business Central with that single sign-on. So using your Microsoft credentials, that same one that you use for Office 365, for example. Well, not for example, exactly as that. These are managed by the admins in your Canadian or US tenant. So whoever's managing your tenant, so one of the people in your office, the Office 365 administrator is going to be managing those. As well, Microsoft's data centers give you all the access to the D365 Dataverse, of which Business Central is part of, and the business application stack, including, that's included in, even large enterprises. So even if you're a small or medium business, you're still getting that same Dataverse and the applications that large enterprise are getting access to. Also, just as a side note for any Canadian partners, your data can also be hosted in a Canadian data center. So I know some of that questions have come up in the past with our company. So it's important to note that, you do have decision of where you want the data to be held. So there are many layers of security that are both visible to the end users as well as happening behind the scenes. If you think about those older on-premise applications, it's simply not financially sound for your IT to work at a level that Microsoft's working at.
Thanks, Marvin. What a great overview on cloud security with Business Central. We'll stay tuned for our next episode on the top 5 reasons to move to the cloud with Business Central.